Hi guys, it's like arguing with cheese. That's how Matthew Wright felt when he was speaking to a Nigel Farage and Brexit supporter called Catherine, who was buying into the idea that somehow what she was sold back in 2016 is unrelated to the reality of today. Catherine refused to answer Matthew's questions and decided to answer different ones. But this all leads us to the conclusion that Farage didn't really understand what he was selling, but rightly knew that he wouldn't be responsible for what eventually occurred. Have a listen to Matthew arguing with cheese.
Didn't Nigel Farage, in his Brexit campaign, tell us that if we left the European Union, we would fix our immigration problems? Thus, if we still have immigration problems and we've left the European Union, who told us a lie?
Well, he said that we would no longer have free movement.
And we would have control of our borders, is what he said. So why don't we?
Well, because we still have the boats arriving.
That's not the main issue. The main issue of immigration is legal migration. 780,000 net, nearly 1 million people all in all. They're not people coming by boats. It's about 20,000, isn't it? 25,000. It's tiny. The reason we've got a migration problem is millions, or loads and loads of people are coming here to do jobs that we haven't got British people to do.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I mean,
well, why do we bring nearly 1 million people from abroad to work in this country?
I think it's partly incompetence that, people who don't have the right to stay here, they're not being removed.
No, you're not addressing the issue. We import nearly 1 million foreigners a year, students and workers. Okay, most of them will leave. But why are we bringing them in here if we don't need migrants? Why do we?
Most of them will leave. I dispute that. I don't think they will leave.
Well, okay. You can dispute it, but it's what the facts tell us. So this is one of the problems, isn't it? It's like arguing with cheese. We either deal with facts or we deal with beliefs.
It's pointless. You can understand that she doesn't understand what the hell she's talking about. She keeps talking about how, well, they're not going to leave and it's about the boats and okay. See, the problem with all of this is that Nigel Farage back in 2016 sold people a solution to all problems, leaving the European Union. But he knew at the time, he probably knew, that he wouldn't be responsible for that. It would be the Conservatives. The Conservatives were in power. He was in UKIP. He wasn't even in Parliament. He knew that when Brexit was implemented, it would be the Conservatives that would have to implement it. And he knew that he could sit on the sidelines and say, you're doing it wrong. I'd compare him to a heckler at a comedy club, sitting in the audience saying, you're doing it wrong, but knowing that he will never have to get up on stage and take responsibility. So Farage was in this perfect position where he was being amplified by the media on Newsnight pretty much every night, explaining to people, this is what you need to do. You need to vote to leave the European Union and it will fix all of your problems. It will bring down immigration because we'll be in control of our borders and stuff like that. Britain, of course, was in control of its borders, but in order to get the Brexit vote across the line, they had to weaponize this issue. And then Farage was able to wash his hands of the situation and say, it's nothing to do with me, it's the Conservatives. They're not implementing Brexit right. They're not implementing the type of Brexit that I wanted. They're not implementing the Brexit that people voted for. And unfortunately, his supporters and members of the public are buying into this. Oh, we left the European Union, but we're half in, half out. Or we left the European Union, but we didn't get the Brexit that we were promised. We didn't get the Brexit that we thought would be wonderful. While Remainers and pro-Europeans were saying Brexit would be a disaster. It would be damaging to the economy. It would make it difficult to get the workers you need. People were predicting these problems. And the response from Farage and others was, that's scaremongering. Don't engage in Project Fear. And they were proven wrong. Or the Remainers were proven right. But what is Farage doing now? He's saying, well, Brexit has failed, but not because of me, but because the Tories didn't implement it correctly. There are all these opportunities that they're not taking advantage of. And Brexit isn't, there are no opportunities to Brexit. Brexit is, on the whole, a disaster. But Farage is still in a position where he's saying, look, it's not been implemented right. And now he's moved on to something else. He's moved on to immigration as the solution to all problems. And he knows that the Labour government or the Tories, if they try to bring down immigration, it will be damaging to the economy. It'll be damaging to society. But he can sit on the sidelines and say, you're doing it wrong. And he's doing exactly that at this moment. It is like arguing with cheese. And it's unfortunately not going to get any better. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.